All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful like Akim, pushing this word with truth and sincerity. And Shalom to the multitude, all right, of the elect, the true believers of this truth and testimony of Yahweh Shai. All right, this is the brother Karatazar of Men of Valor, Las Vegas camp, coming with a quick lesson, Lord willing, to be edifying, and just kind of going off of this post on X, formerly known as Twitter, by Elon Musk earlier this week, where he pretty much said, as you see on the screen, that the Prezi, all right, ain't came out with them files because he owned them, and we already knew that. All right, they got pictures and everything, but hey, the Lord is using this devil's own mouth, all right, to take him out, all right, by the works of his own hands. And the scriptures say that would happen. And this is, just a reconfirmation, all right, reconfirming the scriptures. This is Job 15:6. It says, "Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I," right? So things that you are saying, and I'm speaking of you as, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, the wicked who is in the power seat, all right, who Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has appointed for that power seat, all right, to reign the world right now. And it says in Job, the 9th chapter, that the wicked, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, all right, right, and right now the rulership of this beast system, NATO and the EU, controlled by that whore riding on the beast, all right, which is America, all right, aka Babylon the Great in the scriptures, all right, Rome 2.0, revamped. And he says, not I, meaning that he's making him, the same people in power, all right, are the same people testifying of their own wickedness and revealing their own secrets, which Yahweh Shemel Shai is putting the spirits on them to do that. So it says, thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee. Okay? So thine own lips is bringing out this perversion, this, these unlawful deeds that you're doing, all right? These atrocities, okay? As he said, you are a liar and there is no uprightness in you, all right? Just characteristics of the wicked. And that's being, put on full display, okay? This is Psalms, the book of Psalm 64 and verse 7. It says, but Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow, and them being the wicked, suddenly shall they be wounded. All right. So all of a sudden, this place isn't going to take long to tear it down. The signs of prophecy, has this thing moving quick, and you got events popping off right now, such as, that war zone out in Ukraine, all right, and Russia, all these little proxy wars. Hey, another thing that came out was with the dude, all right, with Ben and Jerry's, how he was screaming, y'all, using the money from you know how Trump cut off those supplies to the poor. All right, he said y'all using them to, you know, do what y'all doing out in Gaza right now. Okay, and that's another example, you know, of the same topic. How Elon ratting out or bringing to light, all right, these devious works from, you know, that Donald Trump had his hands in, and they all guilty, man. This is verse 8 to the point. So they shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. All right. So, you know, everybody that isn't going to be a part want to have dealing, especially with America. All right. But nobody's going to be, you know, want to be associated with the things that are coming out, just as this example is what was going down on that island. All right, and all these big names was a part of that. Okay, same thing, no different than what happened with the WikiLeaks. Okay, because that tied back into that. The PIZZA. You know, gate. Okay. This is so he's using his own people. You know, the Most High is using his own people, the wicked's own people, to, you know, work against him. It says in Jeremiah 51, and I'll start at 2, and actually I'll read it from 1. Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I'll raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. All right. Now we know that destroying wind is going to be those nuclear missiles. All right. And that tempest that comes after that those you know, warheads drop. All right. It says, and will send unto Babylon fanners, and these fanners, you know, starting with the prophets. All right, but they go down to the whistleblowers. All right, those exposing, you know, these wicked works of Esau, Edom, and they come, you know, from the inside out. And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for the day of trouble that they shall be against her round about. All right, and Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is setting up a work of that day of trouble. Okay. Yeah, them, you know, Esau got his hands full, to say the least, trying to cover up his wickedness, but at the end of the day, everything will be exposed. All right, that wicked shall be revealed. So let's get this. I want to go to the book of Nahum, because at the end of the day, the Lord ain't letting nothing slide from Esau. All right, Nahum 1 and 3. Actually, let's go 1 and 2. The Most High Yahweh is jealous, and Yahweh revengeth. Yahweh revengeth and is furious. Yahweh will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. The Lord Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord Yahweh hath his way in the whirlwind, in the storm, and the clouds are dust of his feet. Okay, so he will not acquit the wicked, and you will be held accountable for everything that you do. At the end of the day, you will see judgment and be a part of it. Okay. where I want to go to now is the book of Sirach. Okay, and then we'll close out the book of Sirach. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach 10, in verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Alright? And this kingdom is in the process, of really it's a queendom. Alright? But this beast system is on the way of going out. Alright? That's why all these things is coming out. Everything will be brought to light, exposed, and then once that exposure hits, chaos, alright, and the Lord is going to judge this place for those unrighteous dealings, riches got by deceit. Alright, the kingdom will be translated from one people to another. And who's up next? Yasha Allah, okay? He, Prince of Power, are the Israelites. The Lord is coming back to, put this place back in rightful rulership, all right, in order, will be restored. Okay, so Lord willing, this lesson has been edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Until the next time, I say Shalom.